start with Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Coach Benedict had that scary injury in the first half. Just how's he doing right now?
We'll know more, Justin, over the next couple of days. I know that he got an X-ray and his ankle is not broken. It's a sprain. There's different severities of a sprain, as we all know. I don't think his is significant, but it might be the first ankle injury he's ever had. So, if it's happened to you before, the first one it scares you more than anything. So my hope is that over the next couple of days that we really are able to develop some confidence in him, and he's going to be able to see that he's going to be all right. But he's going to be okay. It's just, I don't know what the next few days or this week will look like. We'll know more probably by Wednesday.
And, Tibet got more minutes in the second half. What did you see out of him? And what do you think, the wings could look like moving forward if Benedict isn't able to go this week?
I mean, we're running out of players, if you want my honest answer. I mean, we just are. We don't have any guards. So, part of us in the second half, we did the best that we could. We tried to play the smartest that we could because, James and Terrell, as they both had 3 fouls, if we would have lost either one of those guys, we would have had players in the game that have never, ever been in a game like that, basically to finish it off. So we didn't push the ball on misses. We tried to run the clock. And then, when you have a couple turnovers, when they can get hot from 3, which we know they can, and then you go to the line a couple times and you don't make them, the game starts to feel funny. But for the most part, we did what we needed to in the second half. And, for a large portion of the first half, we played very, very good basketball, both on offense and on defense.
Next question, David Kelly, KVOA.
Hey, Sean, what were the key elements that you liked about that first war that allowed you to get off to the 12-0 lead?
We were ready to play. Sometimes you can really be ready to play. It doesn't mean you're going to be off to a great start, or, I think we were up 8 or 10-0. But you could feel it. All 5 of our starters were engaged. We were in the right position defensively. On offense, I thought we played with a real good pace, shared the ball, and guys were very, very confident. It's kind of interesting in that, we only shot 6 3-point shots. I really don't think we passed a whole lot up. It was kind of how the game was. And we took what they gave us. And, other than the 17 turnovers, which, we got shook there for about a 4-minute stretch there late in the game. That would be the one thing that, I wish we could have done a little bit better. But anytime that you play a team like them twice in 5 days, Arizona State, 2 games in 5 days, it's really challenging. You're kind of on that same scouting report for about 10 straight days. And especially the way the game was in Tempe, on the heels of that, to come right back and play them again, it was a difficult task. And I'm really, really proud of our guys for being ready and then, being able to gut it out and play the way we did in the second half without Ben.
And obviously Terrell's seeing more minutes, but he's averaging 9 free throws over these last 2 ball games. What's been the key element in him being able to get to the line like that?
Well, I mentioned it before. Terrell averaged 21 points a game last year at Seattle. And, I think the Pac-12 and playing at Arizona represents different challenges for him. But he's capable of scoring and doing more, especially as he's been given more of an opportunity. But, we've talked to him when Jamal suffered his season-ending injury that, he could continue to be the distributor. He could continue to be a guy who really is unselfish, but we need some scoring from him. And, he's really risen to the challenge.
Next question, Bruce Pascoe, Arizona Daily Star.
On and I was curious because
I'm losing you, Bruce.
Bruce, we can't hear you. We're going to move on. Next question, Troy Hutchison, All Sports Tucson.
Coach, James had another great night against ASU. Only 3 for 10 from the field, but 11 times at the foul line, 9 makes, and 6-to-1 turnover ratio. Can you just talk about his game?
Yeah, James was outstanding. I mean, the fact that he played 37 minutes and had 1 turnover and 6 assists. I mean, you guys watched the second half. I mean, he's so good with the ball in his hands. He had 2 people on him, trapping him, picking him up a full court. And, you know, for him to play that 37 minutes with only 1 turnover and use the energy that he did, and thought he was really good on defense as well, both him and Terrell. But I think James is learning that as a point guard and as a guard, there's just so many different ways you can help win the game. You know, the other night he had a big night scoring. Tonight he had a big night playmaking, and he's our heart and soul. Believes in himself. We obviously believe in him, and you know his confidence is contagious. You know his teammates feel that confidence from him when he's out there.
Next question, we'll try Bruce again.
Yeah, Sean, I was just, if you can hear me this time, I was wondering about the thing with Ben. He looked like he tried to do some sprinting to kind of test the knee at halftime there. I didn't know, I was just kind of wondering what was the thought that maybe he could come right back. And then after that, is that when you decided to get x-rays, or how did that play out?
Well, it's his ankle. He had an ankle injury, not a knee injury. But,
excuse me.
no, standard operating procedure is he got his x-ray, I believe, at halftime. But, we're not going to put him at risk. I don't think that we felt it would be in his best interest to go. The fact that he was able to not play will help him recover. Tomorrow and Wednesday will be big days for him, and then we'll see where he's at that point.
Right. I was just wondering if he came to you like, hey, he wanted to give it a try, that kind of thing, if, at least initially.
No, I mean, his sprain isn't severe. It's, I don't know, grade 1, grade 2, where he's at, but there's not a lot of swelling, which is good. So I think that, he should be able to get his range of motion, mobility back. Jordan Brown had a similar injury at Arizona State, I think around the 6-minute mark of the game. And, Jordan didn't really practice, but he really worked around the clock the last couple of days to get ready for tonight's game. And I really credit Jordan. I mean, he helped us tonight. And by the fact that he was able to play, I think that will really help him recover even more the next couple of days and hopefully be closer to 100% against Stanford.
Would you say you kind of alluded to, being shorthanded, but I mean, how much of the second half kind of a little bit of slippage there is just due to simply not having Ben and not having him and not having the numbers you normally have?
Yeah, I mean, we're quite frankly running out of players. We are. So, the good news is Kirk Kriisa will be back with us, eligible to play in games when we go to Utah and Colorado. I believe that he'll get cleared. He's able to do non-contact right now with his concussion, but he's very, very close, if not even tomorrow, where he'll be cleared to, reestablish himself and practice. So we need to get him to practice a few times so he can be the most ready he can be. But he comes to us at a very, very good time.
Thanks.
Next question, back to David Kelly.
Sean, it looked like at times that Arizona State offensively was kind of all over the place. How hard is it to not get pulled into that type of, I guess, for lack of a better term, street ball kind of game?
Well, Arizona State plays the fastest tempo in the Pac-12, so it's a fast pace and there's a lot of quick early shots, but they have a lot of firepower. I mean, each of their guards is capable of making quick moves and creating their own shots, creating shots for their teammates, and they're great in the open court. And you're right. So when you're in that type of game, for us, we want to play fast as well, but I think that our tempo isn't nearly that fast, and we want to make sure that, we take good ones if they're quick. Sometimes we want to utilize our low post game to be balanced. That's how you get to the free throw line. And, that's one thing about tonight. I mean, I know we shot 43 free throws. A lot of it was like the last 10 minutes of the game, but we were able to get to the free throw line throughout the game. And that's a big part of being a good offensive team.
All right, we have time for one more question for Coach. We'll go to Steve Rivera, Fox Sports 1450.
Yeah, Sean, I'm wondering how you would characterize how your team has played since the sweep of UCLA and USC. You challenged them and they've kind of responded.
Yeah, you know, and if you remember, Steve, in those two games, and you know, it's hard to say because, you know, we try to win every game, and there's high expectations here, rightfully so, and we're used to winning at home. But in both of those games, USC and UCLA, we had some really good moments. And what was hard is the USC game, we just had one of those nights between James and Jamal shooting. I think they were 1 for 16 from the field. And, you know, look, it's hard to win in the Pac-12 if your backcourt goes 1 for 16. But, you know, all things considered, we still did some pretty good things. What we didn't do is defend them. And we went to UCLA. That's now you're playing with Jamal. It's so hard because he got hurt in the first 2 minutes of that game. You know, so when it happens in the game, there's only so many things you can do. You know, you don't have an opportunity to practice for 2 hours and then, okay, now we want to play you. You have to just play it out. And all things considered, again, you know, we were in the game. We were there. We just weren't able to get the big stop. And I thought our defense let us down really in both of those games. You know, so we got organized, and you're right. I thought we played a complete game at Oregon State. And, you know, I think since then we're improving, and it makes sense that we're improving because some of the players that we're playing are really young, and the more they practice and the more game experience they get, I think the more consistent they are. Azuolas is a great example. If you judge him by the way he played at Arizona State and you judge him, same player 5 days later, playing at home, he was so much more sure of himself. He knew what to expect. You know, the fast, frenetic pace. I think that he needed to play a game like that so that he could be a little bit more comfortable. And he was. And in the first half, he was terrific. So we're working, and you know, I've said this as well, judging our team on just how we practice, how our team shows up every day. Got a really consistent group. And when you're working hard every day, you know, you have a way of continuing to improve.
Okay, thanks.
That's all we have for tonight. Thank you, everybody.